Whoop, whoop, whoop. We can get started. All right, guys. So we're gonna get started. We're gonna talk about starting an event space. This is gonna be a quick one because I didn't plan it. This is kind of impromptu, but that's all right. That's all right. I'm gonna share my screen and we're gonna get it. We're gonna get it started. Okay. Let's get it started. Hi. Let's get it started. Let me see if I could pull up all of my stuff. One second. Okay, while I do this, I want to introduce myself. My name is Z, a builder business you love. I have owned, operated, and managed 4 event spaces, and I've helped. I'm tongue-tied, tongue-twisted. I have helped dozens of people to start their event space, okay? And we're going to go into all of these things right now because a lot of you, I see that you want to, that's my stuff. I see that you guys all want to start an event space. A lot of people want to start an event space. They don't know how. They're confused. There's a lot of fluff out there. And there's a lot of people telling you, hey girl. People telling you guys that, there's a lot of stuff that isn't true. And I'm here to bring you the real, bring you the truth right before I do my orientation, which starts at 7. So we're going to do this real quick. Today I started. Okay, so we're going to do this real quick. So I'm going to turn my camera around. We're going to talk all about it. Okay, that's what we're going to do. I'm a flip. Okay, and we're going to talk about owning an event space, what that means, not only what it means, guys, but what it means for you. Okay, because a lot of people think event space ownership is something that it's not, because you got people out here telling you it's completely passive. You got people out here telling you that they don't need you in the business, that you could just run it like remotely. And while that may be true for some business setups and the way that some businesses are set up, once, you're going to have to touch the broom at some point. You got to, in order for you to tell your guy, how you want the place clean, how you want the place presented, how you want the place to look, how the operations work, you have to do it yourself, okay? So not only that, but imagine, starting a business, spending tens of thousands of dollars on something, and then somebody just ruins it because they came in and, I don't know, like in my situation, threw a brick through the the glass front, right? So it's things like this that you want to say, well, I want to be, able to monitor and control what goes on in my event space. Does that mean you have to be there 24/7? Absolutely not. But it means that it has to make sense for you and your business, you and your lifestyle. That's what it is. Okay. We're going to get it started. Like I said, we only got a little bit of time today because I have orientation as soon as I get off here with my new people who join the community. And we also have office hours. Okay. So we're going to get into it. So the first thing I want you guys to know is, thank you. Hi, Tiara. The first thing I want you guys to know is when you're starting your event space, okay, you have to think about a couple things. You have to learn how to do it yourself. I'm really big, and this is what I teach inside of my community. Do it yourself. You have to know how to do it. If you're paying someone to do it, I have somebody right now, I kid you not, who has paid one of those middleman people that's been telling them they have to pay for an LLC every month. They've been paying for an LLC every single month. Why? Because they never did this. They never learned how to start. So I teach you the fundamentals. I teach you the groundwork. I teach you from the start up, because you have to have a strong base. I don't care if you're building a building. I don't care if you're building a home in construction. I don't care if you're building a business. You have to have a strong foundation. So this part right here, this setup, is so important. Not only is it important to have a strong structure just for you, but it's also important to have a strong structure for this right here for funding. Okay. So I teach you guys how to set up the business, how to get the funding, because you can't get the funding unless you set up your business properly. Okay. The next thing I teach you guys is how to learn and operate your business. What goes on day to day in owning an event space? What do you do? What happens? How do you handle customers? What do you have to buy? Who do you have to hire? What are the things that you have to put out? What are the things you have to leave in? Because some things you got to leave in and people don't get that because sticky hands are a real thing. Okay. Sticky hands, and they'll be like, oh, I just left out the chair. I'm like, did they book the chair? No? Why was it out? Do not be leaving stuff out, guys, and it's not supposed to. If they're not paying for this stuff, remember, we're running a business, okay? So it's about how you're going to operate your space. So that's something we're going to talk about. And then we're going to also talk about how to manage your space. I'm talking about pricing, right? You have to know how to price your event space. KPIs, which is key performance indicators, and understanding what those are, and money generating activities. If you're ready, put a 1 in the chat. Let's get it going. Let's get it going. Okay. If you don't know who I am, my name is Dia. Build a business you love. I have like dozens of videos on YouTube. I'm a licensed mortgage broker, so I actually understand lending, credit, and money. And I'm also a real estate broker, so I understand leases as well. Okay. In addition to that, I've owned 4 event spaces. Boom, 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 boom. And I've owned a furniture rental delivery business. Okay. The perfect person that has all the experience combined to give you the how-to on how to start. I see a lot of people out here, they're big in this industry, and that's wonderful, that's great, but they just give you a lot of fluff information, and they don't show you the how part. I go very deep because I don't want you to be confused. I don't want you to feel like you're on an island by yourself. Okay, that's not what we do over here. And I don't want you to feel like you don't know what you're doing. That's not what we do over here, okay? So, first of all, we're going to talk about the good, the bad, the ugly. We're going to talk about the good first, okay? Why do you want to start an event space? You got to ask yourself that. Do you like events? Do you like people? Do you like the whole thought of owning and running an event space? Maybe you've seen an event and you was like, oh, yo, I could do this. This is easy. This looks easy to me, right? So you have to ask yourself the why behind it, okay? Because for a lot of people, they'll say, oh, it's going to bring in good money. And it does. I've paid off my homes. I paid off my cars with event space ownership. And that's real talk, okay? And boo, how you doing, girl? Uh-oh, I posted. Okay, here's the bad. Okay, stuff is going to happen. You got to be prepared. I'm always about staying ready, so you never got to get ready. This is an actual fight, guys, inside of my space. And this was a christening, okay? A christening. So you never know who's who, okay? You never know what they could do. And you have to put plans of action into place, okay? And you honestly don't know until it happens. It happened, and I was just like, okay, let me put a plan in place for this. I don't want that to happen, y'all. I want you guys to already have plans in place. All of the things that I've been through, the things I've already known how to do, I've discovered on my own through experience. You're going to learn inside of my community just by, through the videos. You're going to learn through me, because why have to go through stuff like this, okay? And learn how to handle stuff like this the hard way, okay? Talk about the ugly too, because it's the ugly side of any business ownership. Businesses fail all the time. Like, one thing is for sure, certain, 2 things for real. I'm going to give you the honest God's truth. Okay. I want you to know that businesses do fail. They fail because they're not ran correctly. They fail because you don't have enough money. Those are the top 2 reasons why businesses fail. So I teach you guys how to get the money that you need, how to budget for the money that you need, and how to understand what you need. Because a lot of people don't even know what to freaking buy. And what happens when you don't know what to buy? What happens when you don't understand your budget? What happens when you don't understand how much is your lease going to be, plus the deposit, plus all the stuff you have to give in? You're going to be completely overwhelmed financially, right? And you're going to start doing crazy stuff. Like, just start doing crazy stuff. It's like borrowing from Peter to pay for Paul. We don't want to do that. We want to be prepared, okay? So that we don't have to go through failures, okay? Okay. Now, the hardest part of getting an event space and starting an event space business is actually getting funding. And it's getting funding and finding the space. Those are the hardest parts, because it's a business that people honestly consider risky. Okay. So I'm not big on lying to the landlords and property managers and telling them that it's one thing and it's not. I have stories about that. And I'm not big on you using the wrong methods of funding for your business. Okay. So it's really important to understand that when you're looking I'm sorry, my mother's calling me. Do not lie about what the space is going to use for. What do I mean? Do not go to a landlord or a property management group and be like, oh, this is a yoga studio. You know how many people I've had do that after I told them, don't do that. Don't get too creative. Don't get too creative. You have to tell them what it's going to be used for. But you don't have to tell them that's going to be your main thing. So you could say, okay, well, this is going to be a yoga studio, and on the weekends we will have events. They have to know that you're going to have events, okay? We're not doing a line over here. Guess what? They have people, security, eyes on their property. They're going to know, oh, she had an event this week. She had an event last week. She had an event the week after. And it can be a violation of their lease. I know someone who violated their lease. And now I don't know what happened because I lost contact with them, but it turned into a big court issue. So we don't want that, okay? We want to do stuff the right way. And this is what I teach you, okay? Now, for a lot of you guys, oh, this thing didn't even pop up. For a lot of you guys, you know, you got to understand that there's some SCAMERs out there, okay? There's people out there that's just willing to take your money. Let's be real, okay? I am not one of those people. I'm one of those people that's actually trying to help you, okay? I'm one of those people that you can come to if you have questions. I'm not out here to give you the wrong information about starting. I'm out here to help you to start, okay? Because at the end of the day, the whole goal is to be your own boss. We got to break free of them shackles, baby. We got to break free. Right? You don't want to be asking somebody, can you have the day off on your birthday? You don't want to be waiting and worried about, you know, if you're going to be tapped on one shoulder, saying here's a pink slip, and on the other shoulder they waiting with a white box ready for you to pack your stuff, right? We want to say, all right, cool. We got something in our back pocket that's been brewing. We've been building. It's been growing. And if this happens, okay, cool. Now I know that this is for me. I know that I can not only, I know that I can expand on this now, right? So it's about building this thing here called generational wealth that we talk about all the time, but never know how to do. Okay. It's about building this thing here called generational wealth that we want to build and to give to our children, right? So let's talk about the funding real quick, because we're going to go over this real quick. Okay. It's important to understand the types of funding. The types of funding is loans, business credits, and grants. Okay. Grants is the only thing that is not guaranteed. Grants are something that you win. So all of these grant queens and grant kings out there that's like, oh, buy my whatever, they cannot promise you a grant. They cannot promise that another third party is going to give you money, okay? And we have to think about whose money are we going to use? Are we going to use our own money? Are we going to use other people's money? And I teach you, okay, how to determine, I teach you how to make decisions using the SWOT analysis and how to determine your budget, okay? So these are all through videos. If you go through it, it's in there. I promise you. I have a very, very thorough events-based course, okay? So when you use your own money, I'm really big on you guys not pulling from your 401k. I'm really big on you guys not pulling from your home, okay? Because then you're out of, if God forbid something were to happen with the business, then you done pull from your 401k, you done pull from your home. Now you have other things to worry about, right? Now when you have other forms of funding to get, right? So here's the places that you want to go to get the funding, okay? The places that you want to go to get the funding is you want to go to get some other people's money. We're not using our own money. You want to go to the credit union. I post credit unions in my community all the time. You want to go to the online banks. I post online banks all the time. In fact, there's a whole module of all of this stuff anyway. You want to go to the minority-based banks, the Black-owned banks, the Carvers and those banks. They're giving out money. And the community banks. What you may not want to do is go to those retail banks like the Chase and the Wells Fargo. You know, they may not be inclined to give you what you need right away, okay? So we need to do something called alternative funding. A lot of times they'll say, hey, you need 2 years, okay? So you have to either have your LLC and putting in money into your business bank account for 2 years, or you have to go and get yourself an online bank loan or a community bank loan or one of these types of loans, okay? And say, hey, this is what we're doing. How can you help me? Okay, that's what we have to do. All right, next. All right. Now, when you go with the LLC, most of the time they're going to have you personally guarantee the loan, okay? They're going to have, what personal guarantee means that they're going to ask for your personal credit, right? It's not touching your personal credit unless you default. I let people know that. People will not tell you that. They'll be like, oh, it won't touch your personal credit. Miss a payment. Default on one of those loans or credit cards, it will hit your personal credit. Okay. So it's about understanding, like I said, I tell you the good, the bad, the ugly. It is what it is. Right. And you have to ask your financial institution questions. Don't just have them pulling your credit. Okay. Don't just have them pulling your credit. Ask them questions before they pull stuff. Okay. Now, when you starting, we're going to get into starting the actual business. Okay, put a 1 in the chat, guys, if you want to get into actually figuring out how to start this business. Like I said, we're gonna go into this real quick. First thing you're gonna do, guys, is make sure that you have your LLC. Okay, we have to be established. Somebody slips and falls. Somebody slipped and fell in my space once. Okay, I have to tell y'all that story one day. Your DUNS number, which helps you build business credit. Okay, your EIN, which is your business's social security number. Your business bank account. Okay. Also, you have to list your business. You have to get your business's website and domain and your email and branded phone number. Why? Because when these banks that you go to right here that I told you about, credit union, online bank, minority owned bank, they're going to say, oh, does she have her stuff together? Does he have his stuff together? Did they set up this business the right way? If the answer is no, then they're going to give you a no. Okay. Okay. We want yeses. Okay. So another thing they're going to ask for, guys, is they're going to ask for something called a business plan. Okay. I just created the bombest chat GPT prompt to create your business plan. Okay. You could create your business plan in an hour. And it's so simple. It's going to ask you question by question by question. And it's going to hit on all of this stuff. SWOT analysis, marketing, financial plan, mission statement. And I give this to you because you're going to need it. They're going to ask for it. I've had people tell me, Z, when I went to the bank, they said that I was the most prepared that they have ever seen. Okay. Now, a lot of people will try to skip a business plan. But if your boss told you to create one, you'll be like, all right, well, give me the time frame and I'll create it. So I need you to act like this is not for you. Sometimes you have to trick your brain, right? And this is what I tell people in my community too. Sometimes you got to trick your brain and say, okay, well, instead of thinking I got to do this business plan, let me just say, I'm going to just put a prompt and just chat GPT, right? This is not a business plan. This is just a prompt. I'm just playing with it, right? Sometimes you got to trick your brain. All right. Because if somebody told you to do it, you would do it. Okay. So I'm here to tell you guys that business ownership is the way. You're never going to get wealthy by making $20 an hour. You're never going to get wealthy by making $40 an hour. Why? Because there's a cap on all of these things. Your money that you're making is really essentially tied to the time, right? I know people with businesses, guys, who has never worked a day in their life with that business. And what do I mean by that? I mean that these jobs will tell you, you got to have this credential, you got to have that credential to make this amount or whatever amount per hour. When somebody can start a trucking company or a food truck company and hire people, and you don't need any type of experience. Okay. So understand what business ownership could do. It can get your family to have that generational wealth that it needs, right? And it can also help you out of this rat race, okay? All right. Now, when it comes to finding our event space, all right? Hey, girl, mom, welcome in, boo. When it comes to finding our event space, then you have to understand zoning, okay? You got to understand that you need permission to put your event space there. You need the permission to know how many people is going to be there or could be in there. Okay. You need permission. Thank you. Nobody's going to say, oh, well, go ahead and just throw this event space up. If they tell you that, I promise you the same way that it got thrown up is going to be thrown down real quick. Okay. Got to do it the right way. If you don't, you get shut down. A lot of people, they put the cart before the horse. We're not doing that. Okay. You have to understand the space type. What are you looking for? You have to define your space. Like this space right here is more of an art gallery type space, right? You have a space that's spaces that's just designed for quinceañeras, just designed for baby showers. You have smaller spaces that's just for, smaller events. So you have to ask yourself, what do I really want? Because this comes into play when you're looking for the type of commercial space. Do I want something small? Do I want something larger? Do I want a huge space that I split into two so I can have two event spaces at once? You got to start thinking about this stuff, okay? You got to ask the right questions. The right questions. Like I said earlier, so many people I know that got into bad leases. Bad leases. What does that mean? It means you're stuck and I can't even help you. That's what it means. You lost your money. It means that they can still come after you. Okay. So we have to make sure we understand our lease clauses, that we understand that the lease in a commercial lease is very different from a residential lease, right? A lease in a commercial lease is the landlord's lease. Very different. Very different. You got to understand. So when you're finding a space, so you want it to be in more of what is this called? What do you call this thing? A plaza, or do you want it to be more? And I do not condone having a space like a space here at the bottom. This is a commercial space, and then there's residence at the top. This is the one thing you do not do. And I tell you the do's and don'ts of finding a commercial space. You do not want to have any type of residence near, because they're going to complain about the noise. Okay, they're going to complain. In addition, I'm about to get off here. Like I said, I have a meeting inside of my community for the newcomers. So in addition, you have to understand that you have to work on and understand what you're going to allow in your space. Don't wait to think about this stuff, because people are going to ask you stuff, right? Understand what your numbers are. You have to know what numbers are important and what numbers are not important. If you run ads, right, and that ad is going up, the money is spending is going up, but that ad is doing nothing. Does it still make sense to run the ad? Put it in the chat. Does it still make sense to run an ad that's doing poorly? Put it in the chat, yes or no. Because you're not going to run an ad, okay, that's doing poorly. You're going to say, I'm going to look at my KPIs, my key performance indicators, and I'm going to see that this ad is not doing what it's supposed to do, okay? You got to understand your systems. You have to understand your SOPs, okay? How you're going to run your business, your automations, okay? How to get bookings in your sleep, okay? When you're down, that doesn't mean your business is down. You're still getting bookings, right? How to budget, how to plan, and leading, okay? We get into understanding how you're going to market your business, because a lot of times they'll be like, but Z, how do I get the people? You have to start marketing as you're building, right? I'm really big on creating those pages early. Let them see your journey. Let them see your story. Get those community hashtags. Get those hashtags that's related to where you are, because event space ownership, event space business is location-based business. It's based on a location. People in your community got to know you're there, okay? And then we get into automations, talking about emails, follow-up, right? And then pricing. So understanding how you get these people in, right? Through leads and emails, and having the exposure that you have to be there, because people are going to need a space. You just have to be the first one in mind, okay? So inside of my community, guys, I teach you guys what to buy. I teach you about the pricing and packaging. I teach you the contract. In fact, I just created a chat GPT prompt on how to build contracts, the do's and don'ts, customer service, and a party checklist to understand what to tell your people to do on days of the party and what you need to be doing on the days of the party. All right, guys. So I know this seems like a whole lot. I get it, right? So I understand that, it's hard to figure out what needs to be done. A lot of times people will just start doing stuff and run into problems, and you'll say this isn't for me, but in actuality you just didn't know how, right? So I actually created a program, okay, that teaches you step by step. It's 8 steps on how to start an event space, okay? It's flexible, so you learn at your own pace, okay? And it also has a community, so you can have a network of fellow events, aspiring event space owners and business owners, right? And it's a really affordable and low cost solution that can help you to get started, okay? Right now, it's $129 per year. Yes, I said $129 per year. And when I say the information in here is top tier, I don't give y'all no BS stuff. I don't want BS stuff, so I don't give y'all no BS stuff, okay? I understand that I bought stuff in the past that I did not like at all. I have all of my wonderful positive reviews here. Okay, this person here says that Z is amazing. The course is easy to guide through, and the course is packed and full of content. Not only is she self-paced, but she has experience. This person here is just like, I just completed the course and started the steps to open a business. The course is very thorough and detailed. She goes on and on. This person here says, I'm not even halfway through, and I really appreciate how thorough you are for each subject. It's the best investment ever. Okay. Thank you, boo. Lindsay's like, Z is awesome. She's in my community also, and she's gonna be the next one. I'm claiming it, girl. I'm claiming it. I'm claiming it. So if you guys are really fearing wasting money, you're fearing failure, you don't know how, you're feeling overwhelmed, I got you. I'm going to show you guys inside of the community really quickly. Okay. Inside of the community, first of all, you can ask questions here. Okay. You can ask questions, and I give so much information. I just give like a lot of information that's pertinent to business ownership. So the thing I just posted is three ways to practice commitment this week on how to get yourself to be committed to what you're doing. We have a word of the week. I post important videos and stuff like that. We have banks. Hang on one second. My mouse is stalling. One second. Okay, here we go. California micro lenders. California business loan programs, and I'm gonna just go through all the states. That's what I'm gonna do. Learn how to productize your crazy ideas. This is an international conference for women in leadership and business success. You want to fix your credit? I had a prompt for that. So it's about understanding that this community is really here to help you. It's not fluff. A lot of these communities out here is fluff. They're trash. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not just saying that because mine's is better, because it is. Okay, but here's the kicker, guys. Y'all ready for the kicker? The kicker is that if you decide that, because I ain't gonna lie, event space ownership is a lot. It's a lot involved. So if you decide, hey, I don't think this is for me, all you have to do is come and look at the other modules, okay? I teach you how to get another idea that's good for you, because it's about starting a business that works for you, your family, and your lifestyle, not the other way around. How to start a service-based business. I teach you how to start a product-based business, if that's what you want to do. A digital product business, right? How to register your business. We go into all of the things: target audience, problem and solution, finding your niche. We go into all the things, okay, until you get to the business plan section. I just realized I'm not signed in properly on here. Until you get to the business plan section. Okay, I'm not signed in on the right account. That's why it's locked. But until you get to the business plan section, okay, and it helps you to build your business plan. Okay? So it's about you, right? And if you're tired of just trying to figure it out, if you're tired of just winging it and like, oh man, I want to start an event space, I want to start a business even, I don't know what business to start, it's time for you to actually, get together your thoughts, get together all the trainings you've been through, get together all the experience you have, even your madness, your trauma. I help you turn your trauma into a message by turning it into a digital product and then turning it into a course, okay? So guys, you guys have to decide. I'm tired of, if you're dealing with the whole paycheck to paycheck thing, because right now those paychecks are not even making it to the next paycheck. Things are going up. Now it's paycheck to Monday because that check is not lasting for the whole the rest of the week, right? It's time for you to feel comfortable about your ideas. Feel comfortable about what you're doing. How many times have you thought of something that had a great idea and then you're like, oh man, I'm gonna do it. Don't do it because you're scared and you don't know how. And you see that very same damn business on the street when you're driving. It's time for you guys to say, I'm tired of this. I need to start to do something different, right? Like I said, just with the event-based ownership, I own my home outright. With event-based ownership, I own my vehicles outright, right? And it's time for you guys to say, I need a chance to give myself a chance. I've been giving these jobs chance after chance after chance. I need to give myself a chance, okay? If that's you, then I want you to join inside of my community. Like I said, it is, I think I still have it at 97, even though I had it at 129 there. I think it's still at 97 right now. It's 97 for the year, okay, or $33 per month. But when you pay the 33, you might as well pay the 97 because this stuff takes time. You're not going to start an events-based business or a business in just a couple weeks, right? So we want to prepare you. I want to be realistic with you, and I want to set those realistic expectations for you. I'm not the one to tell you that you're going to start a business and make $1 million in 2 days. That's not what we're about. If you guys are interested in joining, all you have to do, all right, is click on the link. Where is it? The LINK, I forgot, I can't even say it over here no more. The LINK on the upper left hand it looks like this right here. Okay, you're gonna click on that twice. It's gonna give you a red bar, and then you're gonna say yes, I agree to it or whatever. And it's gonna take you to my business website, okay, which looks like this. All right. And this right here is the Build the Business You Love Academy. Okay. I made it affordable for you guys so you can see what you have to do. I made it affordable so that you don't have any excuses, right? You can't say, oh, it's because of money. You can't say it's because I can't afford it, right? Because if you can't afford this right here, then your problem is bigger than what you probably ever imagine, okay? So it's about getting out of that rat race. It's about understanding that, people like, well, I don't know about other people, but like I've helped so many people in the past, dozens of event spaces to open, just like this one, okay? And other business too. I help people with trucking businesses, juicing businesses, t-shirt businesses, food truck business, like it doesn't matter. And you're able to do all of that with this one community, okay? With this one community, because you can say, oh, I want to open up, maybe I'll do a service-based business, right? This is going to take you here, and you're going to pop this prompt into ChatGPT. It's going to ask you, where do you live? Because unlike all of these other programs that's out here that just gives you general advice about business, real general, you could pop these things into ChatGPT, and it's designed to help you based on where you live. And I mean that because every county has different regulations and requirements. Every city has different regulations and requirements. Every state has different regulations and requirements. For you to buy an ebook, okay, from somebody, or even a course from somebody, and they're like, yeah, you just have to do it this way. And you get to a certain point and they're like, I can't do this here. My state says I can't do this. Guess what? You're stuck, okay? Now you're back to square one. So with this, it teaches you how to use ChatGPT to give you the information that you need so you don't have to be on the phone with all these folks that don't want to be on the phone with you. Because we know they do not want to answer the phone, okay? They do not want to answer the phone. All right, I'm about to get off here, guys, because I have the orientation about to start right now inside of my community for the new people that join my community. If you join the orientation right now. Come and talk to me. I want to see what you're about. I want to see what you have going on. I want to help to guide you in the right direction. Like I said, I'm not your regular mentor, okay? I'm going to actually ask you questions about yourself. All right. Do I have any questions? Do I have any questions? Do I have any questions? I'd be happy to answer any questions. I'm like an open book. And I do actually try to help people. Okay. So if I have any questions, now would be the time to ask. Any questions at all. Any questions? If not, guys, I'm going to log off because I have an orientation. Okay. And yeah, let me just turn my camera around. I have an orientation that's about to start. And I don't know if I think somebody's supposed to come about with the office hours. I have to see how that's gonna go. But yeah, today was a long day for me. So if no one has any questions, if you have questions, just let me know. And if not, then I'm gonna see y'all on another day. But be sure to follow me, grab my freebie, get into my ecosystem. Yeah, get into my ecosystem, all right?